Hello students, and welcome to another video. Today's video is just going to be a quick rundown of the effects of the French and Indian War. We're going to find out how the French and Indian War is actually going to be one of the major causes of the next war called the American Revolution. So we'll see how that happens now. All right, so our learning target is to describe those effects of the French and Indian War. First thing you need to know is that there are two really big effects of the French and Indian War. One of them we learned just today, and that is that the King George III decided he no longer wanted to bother with the fighting between the Native Americans and the colonists, so he created that proclamation line to divide the two groups. Native Americans got all the land to the west of the Appalachian Mountains, and colonists were supposed to remain in the east of the Appalachian Mountains. But the second big effect of this war is that it was costly, and Great Britain and the King George III and his parliament, they went into debt. Debt is when you owe money. So the King of England, his parliament, they accrued a huge amount of debt by paying for the war, paying for soldiers, weapons, uniforms, food for the soldiers, transportation across the ocean. All of that cost a lot of money. So the king and his parliament had to decide, how are they going to pay off of this debt? How is the English government going to make money in order to pay off that debt? Well, the answer is how any government earns money to pay off a debt, and that's that they create taxes. So the king looked for all sorts of different items to tax in order to have the colonists pay for the cost of this war. He's going to tax sugar, playing cards, tea, paint, lead, glass, licenses, any sort of thing he could think of that he could put a tax on to make money as quickly possible back for himself and the government. Well, these taxes, or as a recap, the French and Indian War has two big effects: the proclamation line, which makes the colonists angry because the king won't allow them to expand westward, and then the big debt that the French and Indian War causes, which leads to taxes. And the taxes make the colonists angry, but maybe not for the reason you think. The colonists aren't angry about paying taxes. The colonists are angry because they're not represented in Parliament, and the colonists had no say on whether or not they agreed or disagreed with the taxes. So the real main cause of the frustration regarding taxes is no taxation without representation. The colonists would have gladly paid some taxes to pay for the war. I mean, they did get defended between the French and the Indians. However, we were not able to have representation. We didn't have any say-so in Parliament, and that made us feel like lesser citizens. We'll talk a lot more about no taxation without representation next week, and I hope that this video was helpful for you guys. Bye.